the vital functions are so important to the overall functions of the body that the thinking part of the brain does not have to control vital functions. All right, temperature stays constant because automatically the blood vessels near the surface will dilate, those deeper will constrict. The pupils of the eyes will constrict when you shine light into it automatically. Whatever is being measured as your vital functions happen automatically, and so they will be controlled by the automatic or autonomic nervous system. Okay, that's
No, that was my question. Because I was gonna say, is it safe to say that every time it's an involuntary act, the neurons are coming from the brain to the automatic nervous system.
right. Neurons from the brain will stimulate the neurons that make up the autonomic nervous system.
So that's always automatic. You would say efferent
Right.
nerves. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Automatic afferent nerves
Okay.
make up the autonomic nervous system. Okay, question.
You explained like how like body, regulates body temperature. Why is it that like right now it's cold in this room and I have my jacket on? If I was to go outside, like still with the jacket on, that your body gets colder. My parents always say that like when you're inside, to take your jacket off, not to keep it on, because when you go outside, that kind of can get you sick. Why is that?
Because there must be sensors in the body that are telling the brain whether you're cold or too hot or too cold. Okay? That would be carried by afferent neurons. Okay? The information carried by afferent neurons is sensory in nature or proprioceptive in nature. I think I mentioned that when I talked about the 3 types of cells. Sensory information means that you can have an awareness of that information. All right, it's incoming information that you have an awareness of, if you're hot or cold, okay? That will be carried by, in that case, if you feel cold, somatic afferent neurons. Or if you feel a stomach ache, that would be carried by visceral afferent neurons. But it's carrying information about pain that you can sense to the brain, and then you have an awareness of it. There's other incoming information that we are not conscious of, okay? That information is called proprioceptive information. And I'm going to turn this off while I got the chance to do that. Okay, that proprioceptive information is telling the brain, informing the small part of the brain, the miniature brain called the cerebellum, where the different body parts are relative to each other. That's what proprioceptive information means. Information about the relative position of body parts. All right, now, we are not conscious of this information that's constantly going to the cerebellum. But the cerebellum needs to know where the body parts are relative to each other, because the cerebellum has to coordinate the movement when you decide to move. Okay? If I was to stand on one foot, the cerebellum is raising this foot, but it's tensing and pushing down on the other one so that I can maintain the balance. All right? The example that I always use, if I want to reach for this pen, the cerebellum has to know where my hands are, so that if my hands are down to begin with, I have to contract a different set of muscles to raise this, extend that, rotate my wrist, go down, close my fingers, and bring it back. All right? But if my hand started up here, the cerebellum needs to know that, because now a different set of muscles has to bring my arm down instead of raising it up and opening the fingers and all like that. And And so we will learn that that kind of information about body position is called proprioceptive information. And we will learn of the kind of receptors that are in the joints, joint kinesthetic receptors, neuromuscular spindles. We're going to talk about those receptors that are signaling which muscles are tense and what's the angle between the bones. The way that the cerebellum knows that my arm is extended is one bit of information. These muscles are relaxed, and there's a 180-degree angle between these top bones and bottom bones versus a 90-degree angle that my arm is bent like this. So this is how the cerebellum knows where different body parts are.